Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I'm back up once again by Nick and Steve.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey y'all.
In today's matchup as well, it's Nick versus Steve. Steve has came back with SS3 Goku. He's been playing it a lot lately, so I think he likes it. And Nick was like, "Man, this deck tops. I'm gonna play it."
That's one way to put it, I guess.
You texted me, you're like, "Yeah, I'm playing this deck," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Oh yeah, there's buttons. Click them. They're there for a reason. Let's get into today's matchup. So blue on blue. It's always a fun matchup. I feel like. How did you guys feel?
I hated every second of it.
I loved it.
There's the duality of a man.
So outside of it topping, was there any reason like to just want to play Crimson, or were you just trying to find another? Because you played Gohan for a bit, and with Blue getting a lot of good support lately, which is like kind of gives you an opportunity to give it a shot.
Yeah, blue has not been one of my more successful colors in my history of playing this game. I've tried a few decks out. Like you said, Gohan being one of them. Star Deck Vegeta was one I was really into for a little bit as well. But I was never really one just to play blue often, and just wanted to give this one a shot. It's bluegoodstuff.deck. That's pretty much what most blue decks are coming to these days, and with Soul Striker not being what it used to be, this is the next best thing. And I had a good amount of fun with it. It does what it does. You get a lot of Saiyans, you throw in the drop area. Pretty easy to play, pick up. Not too much going on with it, but it's fun. Middle of the road, I'd say, for me.
In early Dimension Magic, what was the? I know it was a double. Oh, it's double strike, right?
Yeah, that is the double strike Vegeta.
Yeah. Okay, that kind of makes sense to bring out the Dimension Magic that early, because especially the fact that SS3 likes to use its own life as a way of ramping up energy.
My main thought process going through with that D Magic was to try to limit the amount of Z energy that he gets. Because I know early on, uh, newer blue decks can really put out some damage. So I just wanted to limit that as much as possible early on.
Yeah, I made some changes to like the bigger lists. At least I thought I made changes. I I don't really use the Z deck that often. I have a couple of the good Z battle cards, but I don't use it as often as I think I should. But there's not really in this list in particular. There's not really much of a need to generate Z energy. There's a couple cards like the Beerus Z battle card that uses Z energy. I'm running one of that SS Goku from last set that uses Z energy, a lot of Z energy. But this deck in particular doesn't necessarily use it. I just wanted to add extra pressure onto him, just to get him down as low as possible, so he can just be as defensive as possible, not really swing at me.
Yeah, Children's Reinforced Army is pretty much a good call in this situation. Since you're taking 2 life, but is Reinforced Army? I can't remember naturally a 10k or the combo one.
It's a 10k.
So it's kind of like in my opinion, a hit or miss if that was a good call or not. To You didn't swing if you're leader though. Am I missing out on something, Steve?
I did not. Like I said, I don't want him to get me down too early. So lately I've been sort of limiting uh, how many times I swing early on with my leader. That holds on to a card in my hand, keeps my life up a little bit more, and it's worked out for me. I don't really. I think me and Jimmy have had a discussion about this a couple weeks ago. To not swing so much with the leader against certain decks. Now, again, I'm going against blue, so you would think I'd want to get that ramp off as much as possible. But I think honestly, playing anybody really, one ramp is good enough for me.
Yeah, I think in our matchup, I remember there being one turn where you did not swing with it, and I was kind of confused when you did that as well.
Yeah, I think I didn't do anything that turn. I just charged and passed.
I think so.
I remember that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just trying to be more mindful of um, stupid decisions that I've been known to do in the past. Um, yeah, the only answer I got.
Yeah, and here I go buffing my leader up a little bit with the Sensu main. This deck doesn't really run too many negates. I mean, I have Team Magic and Army Reinforcements, of course, but you really want this has a lot of battle step interactions. You can see I picked up the Goku Black a little bit earlier. I have the Gohan SGR, the blue one that interacts in the battle step as well. So this wants to get to the combo step pretty often, which I like doing. A lot of my history playing decks, it's arrival, activate battle stuff. So I like doing that, and this is just another extension of that. I just get a lot of value from if I'm swinging or the opponent swings. I can do a lot of stuff in between.
Being able to play that 6 drop with SS3 with 4 energy is actually pretty good. So you haven't played a lot of battle cards, and you're able to
Yeah,
maximize the Z energy as well.
uh, he is sort of my go-to for big bodies. I play him at a 4 of. I love him. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna have a wedding here in a few weeks. Um, but no, like he does a lot. Deflect barrier, triple strike. I mean, he can't get anything better than that.
And
Plus,
he
he
restores energy.
essentially wipes the field. He restands himself and an energy at the end of the turn. So if I get him, Boo Unison, and I'm awake and I'm restanding 5 energy each turn, um, it yeah, that's my go-to.
But
Boo Unison and the 6 drop.
looking back at this, you probably could have won the game if you just swung a lead. Because I'm at 3 life already, and I don't remember how many cards I had in my hand, but I don't think I could have gotten to 30k because I couldn't awaken at that point. So I think you could have just won right there. But that's why I like running the baby unison, just because it's such a lightning run. Nobody wants the -5 to go off, so I have essentially just a good non-blocker blocker on the field.
Right. Worst case scenario, all my swings go into your unison and your life are safe.
Which is fine by me because I can just tap 3 and play another one.
Right.
Yeah, you just went down to 2 life too, I think.
Yep.
Which is very dangerous.
Yeah. But now that I was able to awaken, you draw 3 just for awakening. So my hand is full. I have a lot of stuff I can do at this point in the game.
And you have at least one Videl in your underneath your leader, which gives you an extra 2k combo to avoid an attack while expending any of your resources.
Exactly. And the activate battle I can use at any point and also get if I do enough on the activate battle to get at least 3 out, I can draw 1, untap 1. So I can say I never really feel tapped out.
Yeah.
Playing defensively.
This was my first time playing against Crimson Goku, so I'm sort of learning as we went.
I think I was the
pretty
only
nice.
one. Yeah, no, it's really good. I think I was the only one who played it initially when it first came out, and I just made the archetype based build for the channel at the time.
Right.
And another good
That's why I
thing
was
deck too.
Surprised. Sorry, go ahead.
No, another good thing about this deck too is when I was playing Gohan, for instance, the Gohan SGR, you have to be at 4 life to play it, and that was something that'd be really easy to forget. And this deck wants to get down to a relatively low life total. I mean, you can play at a high life, but the way I've been playing it a little more aggressively, I want to get down lower and just stay low. So it just turns things on a little quicker.
I just feel like at this point now, with him being at 5 energy, it gets very tricky. Because, like, with this triple strike deck, if he happened to have a golden ape in his hand, you negate. It comes down to who has more resources.
Exactly. And it kind of sucks because I don't have much base power going for me, but I usually keep a pretty healthy hand for the game, so I can do some things if the setup is right. Like I said, I love the combo step, and this deck just accentuates that perfectly. And here I use the Saiyan Synergy. I really like this card a lot. I used it in my Gohan build for a little bit and just moved it over to this deck. Just a one cost negate, and you can Sensu Bean your leader if they swing at it. You just throw this at the bottom of your deck if it's in rest mode. So another piece of protection for your leader. And then, funny enough, it's also can trigger the Goku Z battle card to give a battle card +10 at triple strike because it just has 2 characters on it. So another sneaky way to go in for game if you want to set up that way.
Now, do need to ask a particular question. Were you swinging into the Piccolo with that last attack? Because you only comboed one card off, and if it was the leader swing, it wouldn't have been enough to combo out. That's why I feel like you were swinging at the battle card instead.
That's a good question. Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Fair, fair enough. I could go back and listen to the audio if I feel like it's important enough.
Him being at less than 4 life, I can't really tell how many you got. I feel like I was probably going towards life, but if I didn't think that I could go for game, then I was probably trying to take out some battle cards.
Yeah, and the Boo Unison is a problem for me at this point in the game. Blue doesn't really have much Unison interaction, at least that I can remember. So just swinging for Piccolo first and just having that trigger automatically is really nice. Just get it out of the way so I can play my turn now without having to worry about it.
I think that's very smart. Definitely get that out of the way ahead of time. It's a dual attack, so initially, especially if you target the Unison itself with that swing, it forces them to either potentially lose 2 markers or just expend the auto right then and there.
Yeah, and plus I could, as you saw, just go into Piccolo again, and now I don't have to worry about losing it. And this was a nice surprise, Intoxicated by Justice. Do you want to explain that card, Steve?
It is honestly, for this SS3, one of my favorite 1-drop extra cards. My 1-drop for red is a thing. I wish I would have been playing those when I played Bancroft. Or no, I was playing, I just didn't see them. They would have been really good against those Mai's because when I played Bancroft, I had to deal with Mai for like 3 turns.
You did use it against my mind, but I had another one right
I did.
afterwards.
Ah, that's what it was. Yeah, yeah. Those are irritating. I'm not gonna lie. I might order another one of those just so I can bump it up to 3. I like them. They work well. I mean, I could hit the pan, ignoring barrier. And it goes to the bottom of the deck. It helps out, stops an attack, and gets rid of a 1-drop. It's just really good counter.
Yeah, and a lot of weenies these days do have barrier or some type of protection to them, so that really raises the value of that card. Pretty good tech.
I think last Saturday I had in its place Desperate Measures because I saw a YouTube video of a guy playing a deck that had some Desperate Measures. I think the guy's name was Bancroft.
Oh,
Yeah.
heard of that. Who's that?
I mean, Desperate Measure is really good, especially against. Well, I will say I feel like Floodgate Floodgate negate cards are kind of being seen less and less, but it was definitely good as an option for those cards, like the Mecha Frieza, like Desperate Measuring that, or like a Topo or anything that you cost. I think Desperate Measure is 3 or less. Just felt really good for 1 energy just to do that, snipe it out of the way, and be able to continue your turn without having any problems.
And so, what's your thought process going into this turn, Steve?
Well, you got 3. Yep. I don't think I have very much of a hand right now. Besides the few cards that I draw off a leader swing and Boo. Just bat away is I'm just at this point I'm just trying to go and get those negates out of your hand, so I could go for game.
Which again, it was a little surprising that you didn't go for lead because I think at this point my hand's starting to dwindle a little bit, and the list that I'm currently running is, I mean, you don't know it of course, but it's pretty low on negates. So granted, the baby unison at 6 markers can be a problem just to get the -5 off, but swinging at the lead, just being that aggressive with 2 big swings, really makes me have to respect those swings. And I was
Mhm.
fine with you swinging at the leader, or the unison, because it's just the lightning rod, like I was saying earlier. That's why I really like the baby unison probably more than most 3 drops or most blue unisons, just because people know what it does and they don't want it to go off, so they just pretty much do everything in their power to get rid of it.
There's been a couple games in the past against Nick where I would just play a card like that and go, Nick will take care of it for me and not worry about my leader at all.
Because I've been on the receiving end of it and I do not like it.
So completely clearing out his board and still with 5 open energy, that to me feels kind of scary.
For me, yeah, absolutely.
And now looking at the Z energy, see what you could possibly bring out. Or Z deck, not Z energy.
I just choose to pass turn. I don't think there was anything that could have really helped me out with those 2 energy. He didn't have 4 battle cards, so I couldn't get the Beerus out. Well, I could, but it wouldn't have gained me any value.
I don't know if it would have been worth it or not, but depending on how big Nick's hand was, possibly paying the 5 energy for that Golden Avenger might have been just worth doing because it gives you a draw as well. But if Nick had a negate, and then you would just have to pass turn, but you also have what 5 open energy.
Uh, I was thinking that because I'm pretty sure I do have the golden ape in the hand. I usually do in game. So yeah, at this point, it's just sort of a waiting game, and like I said, just trying to get those negates out of his hand. Because I think the further, even though we're both playing blue, I think the further the game goes, the more potential for a win that SS3 has. Just because of the quality of negates that it runs. And plus that Super Saiyan God Goku out there keeping his battle cards from attacking my leader. Um, yeah,
So this is
So
also
I don't have too much in my hand right now, so that's why we just go for the Hail Mary play. I I also have a baby ape in my hand, so just hoping that something gets negated so I can counter it and then just go in. It unfortunate, as we already heard, that Steve already has one in his hand, but that's why how you play this game. You don't know what your opponent has. So I didn't have too much for kill power, so I just went for it.
yeah. I also feel like in a situation like this where you did tap out for this effect. Now, you can still I think you can still use your leader's ability, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So like
and here it goes.
if he didn't negate that, you would have to activate battle. I feel like, but I think it's only your leader's turn too. Actually, I don't know. I feel like best bet may have been just not negate and just hold off until like you play something out of your ass. 'Cause I think the only option you could have done was an overrealm.
Right. And at this point, I blue has notorious for not many barrier removal cards. There is the tech now with like black smoke, but there's not much for blue. And my only option was countered. So I was planning just scooping because there was really no win, but I just wanted to play it out for the game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's the first time I've counter like that. So I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, Nick. It felt good.
Has Nick hasn't played Hatch yet? Okay, so that's smart to swing with the Goku first just to be safe. and then go
Yeah,
for 30
get it out
damage.
of the way,
Yeah.
get it in rest.
I was thinking like, why didn't you just swing a bigger one first? But it's the idea. Nick does play Baby Hatch in his build. So if he happened to have that in his hand and you swung with a card that if you didn't swing the Goku first, then you're kind of like left wide open for his following turn.
Yep.
Even still, it wouldn't have mattered because the board he had established with the Boo units gets rid of Baby Hatch. And that's it.
And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click on for whatever reason, and there's links in the description. With that being said, Nick, lead us out.
Yeah, it's a good game, Steve. Blue's a good color. Blue on blue sucks, but it is what it is. Read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes you don't have to, and fluff out.